quiet, don't yell that stuff like that.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
So I heard them telling the guy that I was reliable and ready to become part of the business. At this point, I was sure it was something illegal behind those doors, right? So this dude opened the door, and there were rows and rows of tables with weed and cocaine on them. I almost started screaming, but when I saw the gun, that just silenced me.
Then what happened?
Then they told me that they are dealing weed for these people and that I'm a part of that business now as well. They said that I have to be quiet and not rat or they would kill me.
Kill you? What in the world?
I know, right? But at the time I thought I could just sell for a while, make some money, and just get out of that whole thing. But that was a mistake.
Why? What happened?
Patience, young Michael. I'm getting to that part of the story. So, you know that your grandpa Josh despised me because I'm poor. Well, that's because rich and poor just don't go together. Your grandma was from a very wealthy Mexican family. They were the highest class in Odessa. I was madly in love with her, but I just couldn't get close to her. Not while wearing some cheap clothes, shoes, and all that good stuff. But when I started having all the new source of income, I got an access to all the places where your grandma was going. I was in luck because her little sister was in love with Juan. We kind of started double dating because your grandma was very protective towards her sister.
How much was Grandma's sister younger?
Let me think. 3 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see why she was protective. And y'all were the bad boys. Did she know anything about your new job?
No, no, no. She wouldn't have even talked to me if she knew about it. I needed it though.
I understand. So what happened next?
Well, I knew that she was way out of my league, so I was just using chance to spend more time with her. After a while, Juan went to movies with her sister, and I proposed that we'd go and spy on them. When she said yes to that, I knew that was it. I was gonna go for it. We were sitting on a bench nearby a movie theater and waiting for them to come up. We were talking about so many different things. God, I was in love with her so much. Your grandma was just beautiful.
God, I wish I could have seen her back then.
Here, I have her photo in my wallet. Look.
You're right, she was really beautiful.
Heck yeah. Anyway, at some point I stopped listening to how I started staring at her lips and thought how great would have been if she kissed me. At the moment, I just let myself go, went for it. She moved her head backwards a bit, but I was persistent. As I kept going for it, she stopped and kissed me. I think that was the happiest day of my life.
Then what happened?
Well, Juan and Isabella's sister, Isabella is your grandma, you know. They came out of the movies and saw us making out. After that, we'd start double dating for real. The rest is a history.
So how did you end up in Laredo?
Well, that's another story.
Well, you can tell me that story now since we're already talking about your past.
Well, of course. I knew you'd be curious to hear the rest of that drug story, huh?
Well, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, we worked really well around everyone, you know. We had to keep it a secret from my parents and Isabella and Isabella's sister.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So as the business started growing, it started getting harder and harder to keep it a secret. I was carrying around big stacks of money and a lot of weed. At some point, your grandma started getting suspicious.
So what did she do?
She started asking me questions. She wanted to know where I'm getting all that money, why I have to be sketchy all the time, why I talk to some random people on the phone all the time.
Oh no, she knew, huh?
Well, kinda. But she didn't want to accuse me of something that she didn't know for sure.
So how did she find out?
I told her. I couldn't sleep at night thinking about that.
How did you tell her? Oh my god, I can't believe this.
We went out one night. I took her out for dinner, and that was a mistake. When I told her, she said, I knew you. She called me some names. Then she walked away and left me to sit there in my misery.
Gosh, so how do you fix that chaos, Grandpa?
Well, it took me a while to fix it. I was basically camping in front of her house trying to talk to her. First week or so, she was threatening that she was going to call the police on me if I don't step away from her.
That's some serious stuff.
Tell me about it. After that, she started calling me names.
Like what?
Well, you know, like idiot, dumbass, and all that other good stuff.
Grandma was vicious.
Yeah, she was. Anyway, she started cooling down after a while, then she gave me an ultimatum. Either I leave that business or she leaves me for good.
And that's when you remembered that gun one of those guys were carrying around, huh?
Exactly. But I was in love with your grandma as well. I decided to try and get Juan and Sergio on the board, first of all.
For what?
We needed to get rid of the main guys in Odessa so we could get out of the drug business, you know.
So you decided to call the police and bust them?
Yeah, but it had to look like we didn't know anything about it.
And how did you convince Juan and Sergio to help you with this?
Well, Juan was easy to convince. He was in love with your grandma's sister, so he kind of wanted out too.
And what about Sergio?
He was hard to convince because he had nothing to lose if staying in that business. I had to offer him something he couldn't resist.
And what was that?
He wanted to be the boss. We were just little dealers, but we knew all about the business. We knew who the main guys were and where they were distributing that stuff to who, everything.
And?
Me and Juan made a deal with the police and decided to blame it on one of the top guys in the business.
How are you going to do that?
Easy. First, we went to the police to make a deal. We asked for immunity in the process, and we were going to hand them all the main guys in Odessa. We also told them to ship us somewhere else where, those people wouldn't be able to find us. Somewhere where we could start out our lives fresh. Juan wanted to go north, and I wanted to be close to the Mexican border, so Laredo was the best choice. And that's how I ended up here. Let's go to the bar.
Wait a minute. Why would you want to be close to Mexico?
Because if they went after me, I could just cross the border and get lost in Mexico.
Oh, that does make sense.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the bar.
No, Grandpa. I want to know how that whole thing with the police went down.
Oh, God. Why do you have to know everything?
You already started talking about it. Might as well finish the story.
Yeah, you're right. Well, first, Juan and I found out when and where the next big exchange was going to happen. Then we had to buy a microphone to wire on one of the main guys in the business.
What was his name?
Alfredo.
Why did you pick him to get wired?
Because he was a delusional prick. Everyone thought he was weird as hell. He was just the perfect fit for a rap.
Was he like scared and freaked out of everything?
No. He was really crazy. He loved killing people and doing business with drugs. He was just weird. I think he also had necrophilia.
What is that?
Don't worry about it. It's really bad. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, you're right. I don't even want to know.
Yeah. So we went to the old abandoned storage where the business was going to go down to take the money from the weed that we were dealing with. We met the main guy, Carlos Jimenez. We gave him money and told him that we saw Alfredo walking out of the police station that same day and that he should be very cautious about it.
And did he believe you?
Well, of course not. Alfredo was one of his most reliable guys.
And where was Alfredo at the time?
He went to the bathroom. Whenever he did, we put a microphone in his jacket because he left his jacket on the chair. Everything was perfect. Police was ready to break in and they knew the whole deal about the fake rap. When Carlos told us that he doesn't believe that, we just told him to be careful and walked out.
Just like that?
Just like that.
What happened next?
Carlos was a careful guy. Even though he trusted Alfredo, he probably needed to make sure he's not wired. We haven't seen it, but after a while we just heard gunshots. That's when the police decided to act.
So did they get them all?
All the main guys fell and most of the little dealers like we were. The ones that didn't get arrested or weren't there just got lost somewhere.
And did Carlos ever find out the real truth?
Nope, never. By the time he got out of jail, he was rehabilitated and had no interest in drugs. So we were in clear. I still moved to Laredo, just in case. Juan went to Wisconsin with your grandma's sister.
What did you and Grandma end up doing?
I moved to Laredo first. It took her a few months to explain everything to her dad. He didn't really like it, so she ran away from home.
What happened to Sergio?
He's still the main guy in drug dealing business in Odessa. We talk sometimes, actually.
What about Juan? Do you ever talk to him?
Yes, sir.
Wow, Grandpa, that's an amazing story. Was it all truth, or did you make up some of it?
Nope, I lied about everything.
That's messed up. So what happened for real?
Well, I basically abducted your grandma from her crazy father and brought her here to Laredo.
Well, that makes much more sense. Good story, though. Too bad it's not real.
Yeah, I know. I wish it really happened too. I think I saw it on this TV show once.
I kind of want to hear Grandpa Josh's story now. Maybe he's got something really interesting.
Well, I'm pretty sure he'll come looking for us in a bar. So if we head over there, wait on him and get him drunk enough, he might spill some good stories.
Sounds great. Let's go there right now.
Alright.